Hey guys, and welcome back to part 9 of I Know Why Your Results Might Suck. Okay, so as I discussed in part 8 when we was talking about the gut health, that over the next 2 or 3 videos of this series we're going to go a little bit deeper and a little bit more advanced into those reasons, those obstacles, those blocks that are potentially stopping you from feeling healthier, losing weight, and ultimately getting the results that you want. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about blood sugars, blood sugar management. So, what is that? Quite simply, to put it simple, it's just about the amounts of sugar that's floating around in your bloodstream. Now, ultimately, this often comes from the foods that you eat. It can often also come from certain stress levels, but we're going to talk about that one in the next lesson. But if you're somebody who is struggling to lose weight, maybe you feel like you're eating too much, you're constantly battling food craving issues, maybe you can't sleep at night, maybe you can get to sleep, you just can't stay awake, maybe you're getting tired and fatigued during the day. You know what I mean here. You have your meal at work or you're out, you get back to work and you feel a little bit snoozy, you just want to go to sleep or even go home. Productivity goes for a burden. Now, if you're any of these or you're showing those symptoms, really good indicator that you've got some blood sugar issues causing you some discomfort, or they're holding you back. Now, this is a really big issue. It's very common. It's not normal, but it's very common. You see, in today's world, we're rushing around, we're busy being busy, we're eating foods on the go, we're eating convenient foods, we're not consistent enough, and we're getting stressed. All these things contribute to your blood sugar levels going all over the place. As I said, if you're struggling to lose weight, this is something that really needs to be addressed. Because, quite simply, if your blood sugars are all over the place and they're all a little bit out of whack, that exercise plan or that perfect or ideal nutrition plan you're following isn't going to work. It's not going to be very effective, and that's a bad place to be. There's nothing worse than someone giving 100% effort and they're not getting anywhere. So do you know anyone like that? Maybe that's you. Maybe you feel like you're eating healthy. Maybe you're happy with your exercise levels and you're being consistent. But you look at the scales or you look at your waistline and it's just not moving. And if that's the case, looking at your blood sugars is something that you really need to do. Now, one way that you can do it, it's a little bit more advanced, is you can actually see what your blood sugar reading is. It's really simple and it's cheap to do. Now, you can get these little kits online. There's all kinds of different ones. The one that I've currently been using, I can use with my iPhone, which is pretty cool. So I would draw blood from my finger with this. I would use this little strip to take the blood from my finger, and then I would quite simply stick this into my iPhone. This is the reader, and it would then tell me what my current blood sugar levels are. Really simple and massively effective. There's all kinds of different ones that you can get on the internet. They're all just as good as each other. So it's a little kit that a lot of people who have issues with diabetes use on a daily basis. So it's quite a simple little piece of kit that is effective. So in my health formation program, I talk a little bit more about this, and it's a real quick way of you understanding what your current reading is. Okay, so I highly recommend that maybe you do that. Speak to me if you want some more information. But other than that, it's quite simply a case of just be a bit more consistent with your food. You're eating regularly, you're having a breakfast, you're having a lunch, you're having an evening meal, maybe 1 or 2 snacks if you need them. You've got a meal consisting of protein, vegetables, healthy fats, or good healthy carbs, depending on your goal. If you're inconsistent and you miss a meal, this is where your blood sugar levels are going to cause problems. You're going to be a lot more hungrier in a few hours' time, and it's that point where you start becoming reactive, and all you can think about is sugary foods, convenient foods that don't serve your goal. So being more aware of this stuff is the key. So imagine you go to work. You've had your breakfast, you have your lunch at midday, but now and again you are facing that situation where you're in a meeting. Let's say your meeting is over lunch, so you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to be able to eat my dinner, I'm going to have to wait 2 or 3 hours. When it gets to 3 o'clock, I'm normally starving. So this is where people will say, well, it wasn't my fault, I had a meeting, so I had to quickly grab a sandwich. Hey, that's ultimately your choice, what you've made. It doesn't have to be that way. But having a little bit of awareness, thinking ahead, is your key to controlling your blood sugars. If you know you're not going to be around good healthy food, or you're going to be stuck in a meeting, or you're travelling, think, what can you do before? Maybe it's a case of you have a little bit of something before you go into that meeting, or you set off on the road. You have a handful of nuts or something that's got a little bit of protein in, a bit of healthy fats, a piece of fruit if you need to. There's lots of little things that you can have, even some dark chocolate. It fixes you just for an hour or two. It controls your blood sugars. But if you don't, ultimately you are responsible for what happens. Now, whether you believe this or not, your blood sugars are having a massive influence on your choices. When I talk in my health formation program about if someone is being human, or they're online, or someone who's offline and being more animalistic. When you go offline, you react, you make choices that you don't normally want to take, and before you know it, you're deep diving into the vending machine and eating a Mars bar or crisps, and then you feel guilty. So staying online, being aware, being conscious of your decisions. Where am I going to be in the next few hours? Do I need to eat now? Will I have food on me? These are all things that you need to get good at, become more aware of. But you get good at things by practicing. So start thinking ahead a little bit. Where are you going to be? Am I prepared? Do I have food on me? Do I need to take food? Is there food where I'm going to be? Stay consistent with your food. Don't go longer than 4-5 hours max when you're going to eat food, because if you do, your blood sugars are going to take a drop. You're going to go offline, you're going to become reactive, and before you know it, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to have a lot of pain and shame, and you're going to be negative because you've made choices you didn't want to do. But it could be different, it could be simpler. So getting a little bit of a checkup on your blood sugar is a really, really good thing you could do. I'll be back with you soon in part 10.